and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. I just accidentally hit play again on the intro music. It's all good though. How's everyone doing today? Guys, smash the like button on your way in. Bitcoin is currently chilling at 87.84 and 23 cents. How's the vibes this weekend? You guys enjoy yourselves? Hey, what's going on, guys? We've got a CME gap is what we got. Let's go refresh the liquidation heat map and see where we're at. Oh boy, happy Sunday, guys. We liquidated some bears. Now it's time to liquidate some bulls. Both sides are rather excited, but not in a good way. Let's see. We've got above 88,217. There we go. 88,217. And the top, I'm going to go right here, I guess, 89,480. And then the bottom, we've got first thing, 86,821. You guys ever see Kong Skull Island? So good. Such a good movie. I'm going to go right here, 84,760. And that is the range that we are currently sitting in. I would not be surprised if we literally hit that bottom of that liquidation, 84,760, just because of the CME gap and all that. What's going on, Dixie? What's going on, Mythical? Hey, JJ, can I buy you off to check out the layer chart? Maybe. I can just check out the layer chart. Let's go take a look. Layer. I like the dollar sign in front of it because it reminds me of Slayer. I don't know if that was on purpose. We've got 21,000 in liquidity. That is ADA for some reason because Zach made me change my chart and I never changed it back because I'm an idiot. There we go. Yeah, 21,000. I guess this part doesn't change. 21,000 ADA in liquidity. 51,000 fully diluted value. So that's actually interesting. 50% of this is the LP. The LP represents 50% of the market cap, which is pretty insane. We are incredibly oversold on the daily. Let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. It definitely, if I looked at this chart and didn't know what I was looking at, I would say number go up. You are also overbought. Did I say oversold earlier? I meant to say overbought. On the 4-hour. So be careful. We see how overextended this can become, though. So there's opportunities all around, especially with such a low market cap. 120 holders. Let's see. I would just want to see the distribution. Top traders. Somebody made $103. No, they didn't, actually. I don't think they made anything. Did they? Yeah. No, I don't know. This is confusing. It looks like maybe they made $103. Can I see the holders? Ooh, I can. Okay, see. Yeah, see. Okay, 20% of it is held in MinSwap. There's Dixie, 6%. Toonk, 5.23. Whoever green red is, my pleasure. That's a creepy name. Sacco, Extract up there again. One Arm Steve, RIP Steve's other arm. Lil Thunder, that's got to be like a butt cheek thing. Mr. 420, that could also be Dixie. But yeah, always a good idea to check out the holders. Chart looks good. Trade history looks appealing. People are buying up a ridiculous amount. People are selling up a ridiculous amount as well. That is the name of the game, though. And the chart continues to prevail. It's pretty cool, actually. Cool to see. I like the pump and dump. This is usually, interestingly enough, usually this is bots 1v1ing each other, which cracks me up. I've seen it happen on tokens that I've launched. I've seen other people do it, like launch a token and then the bots 1v1, and then you end up like lingering right here. It's actually really funny to watch. I don't know if the bots ever make out with a profit. If they do, it's not significant enough to justify whatever kind of effort that they have to put in, but it's hilarious to watch. Anyways, Bitcoin, 86,886 and 91. Nope, 86,859 and 91 cents. We're looking good for the most part of the day, and now we seem to be cracking into those longs. We literally just hit the one that we just placed. I would not be surprised to see a cascade here. And because I'm really historically bad at shorting, I'm actually going to open a short right now and see if I can change the direction. And I'm going to be irresponsible with my leverage. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, though. But if I win this trade and I close in profit, then I will let you guys know. Mythical said, thanks, JJ. You're welcome, Mythical. I expect the feed pics in my inbox before the end of the stream. Dixie said, looks like Larry's cooking. Corner River in the Brooklyn said, nice little pump today. Who's DMing me? You're making noise on my stream. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance, 59.27. It does look like it's getting a little pump bounce off of 59. So I'm not quite sure what to expect out of this because it looks like it's in a downtrend, but it also looks like it's trying to break out of that downtrend. So, and downtrends usually result in upside shortly following. We got a green dot confirmed on market cipher. Again, though, I don't know if that's relevant on dominance or not. So it's going to be interesting to watch. ETH is up 1.02% on the day, currently trading at 27.98 and 27 cents. It does look like it rejected 28.61, which is interesting because that was the purple line that we put on the chart. That was somewhat heavy point of contention based on previous price action. There's no liquidity here for the weekend, so no surprise. The price probably isn't going to make much of a difference until tomorrow. I'm concerned about this CME gap business because alts looked okay up until Bitcoin just turned red. That's how weak the market is right now. There's almost no liquidity, almost no volume. So if we do got to fill a CME gap, alts are going to get decimated once more. I don't know. I don't know. RSI looks good, though, on ETH. Sol is up 2.51, actually doing better than ETH, but it is also rejecting the purple trend line. This purple trend line is not a horizontal trend line. It is a neckline, actually, from a inverse head and shoulder. We've got this previous, I'm going to call it a descending wedge that we broke bullish out of, and that break bullish was actually the result of an inverse head and shoulder breakout, rejection at the top, support at the neckline, and then we broke above our top trend line, and that resulted in new highs, new all-time highs on Solana. We eventually came back into our pattern and established a little double triple bottom action situation, and that neckline was important once more, and then a third time, and now this is time number 4 where the neckline is coming into play. So the question is, can we get above it and stay above it, or are we going to reject it and hit the lower trend line like we have done a couple of times in the past already? If we do, probably looking for a $100 Solana. Mythical said, you think we bounce off that March low? I don't know. I've heard talks of the mythical, if you will, the mythical double bottom, and I don't hate it, but I guess in order for my brain to process it as a double bottom, it would have to be coming from a much higher area. This right here, if it did do that, I would not equate that to a double bottom. I guess I would just equate that to like 2 touches to, let's call it a breakout target. I would call this our resistance, breakout, support once, twice, and then continuation. And technically, semantics, that is a double bottom, but it doesn't really seem like a bottom. It still seems like this is very much a top zone compared to literally all of the previous price action preceding it. You know what I mean? So I like the idea. I just don't like the wording, the verbiage. The most useless part, the most privileged part is the part that I dislike. You know, privilege problems. But we've got some fractals as well that are kind of calling for a reversal, and everyone and their brother is telling you that it's over. If we do bounce here, then I will say Justin Makachek will have been correct for our crypto winter bottom. Tisha said, yo. So it seems like we're going to get the second weekly close below the 50 week. So a rally back to it at some point seems like a good way to de-risk or sell if we bought the dip. I don't know. The fact that we're closing below it is very, very spicy. And my hopium brain is like, well, this time is different. But my practical brain is like, this time it's over. So I don't know. What is interesting to me is on this daily, this consolidated RSI and then the breakdown. And you guys have heard me tell you a million times, whenever we have some kind of wedge or triangle and we break out, the first breakout, in my opinion, is usually a false breakout, and it reverses and goes the opposite direction shortly thereafter. So that would kind of demand a pump out of this, and the green dot kind of confirms that for now, as well as this green candle. And I really like these wicks. Those wicks are indicative of some serious buy pressure. So let's see if we can get a push up. Not financial advice. Do your part, maybe buy some. But again, not financial advice. We'll see where we end up. Total 3 is up 1.7% on the day. Currently trading at 852 and 852.64 billion. My slightly bullish bounce guess is 800 billion. And we're just about there. What I like about this whole situation, gosh, I'm really losing my voice, aren't I? Is this kind of wedge setup. We got 1, 2 hits, 3 hits to the downside, 4 hits with technically only 2. We'll call it 3 hits to the upside. There's confluence, and I like the confluence. Are we going to get a fake out break below and then the reversal break above? Or are we just going to continue dying? What I also see is, I guess, the RSI kind of slowly making its way towards oversold. We got a green dot on the momentum wave as well, signaling some short-term upside. So let's see what this bounce results in. We do got some nice wicks to the bottom as well, wicks to the downside, indicative of some buy pressure. What is interesting is we made jokes on October 10th that we're going to eventually fill this wick, and that does seem to be what we're doing, which kind of supports the, I'm going to call them conspiracy theories, even though I actually feel like there is at least some semblance of truth to them, that maybe this has to get filled in order to cover the hole that was made in the order books or even in the ledgers, the what do you call them, the reserves on all these centralized exchanges that kind of admitted guilt when they paid people off due to a bug. Crypto Spaces said, remember when crypto went up? You made that up. That's not a thing. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I'm so glad somebody said that joke. I say that all the time, and I don't think anyone knows what I'm talking about. Fahid said CME gap needs to be filled. Yes, sir. Yes, it does. Number go down. ADA's down. Or I'm sorry. Over time, ADA is definitely down. But at the moment, ADA is up 1.0 or 1.16% on the day. We are rejecting 42, which is not great. We'll see if we end up getting above it. If we can hold 40, then there's a chance. If we break below it, though, then it's going to get even more spicy than it already got. We got really poopy weekend volume at the moment. We were incredibly oversold back on Friday. It has since recovered, I guess, from that oversold territory. We got a bullish crossover the moving average in the RSI. Let's see if we can get a bounce off that and continue. Green dot in the momentum wave is still in play as well. Snag is up 7.31% on the day, currently trading at 15.054. Can we get back up to 20? I freaking hope so. We got green dots coming out the woodwork. Bullish crossover the moving average in the RSI from, we'll call it Saturday. And we are continuing to the upside on that. XRP is up 4.9%, looking good. Currently trading at 204.66. Let's see. We seem to have gotten a bounce off of 184, which is nice. We got back into our range. This little fake out gives me a little bit of hope, a little bit of copium, that we may just break above this upper trend line. It's sloppy. There's not a ton of confluence for the upper trend line. I do still kind of like this wedge better than the whole wedge, or the whole, we'll call it descending channel. But talking about it, I don't know. Maybe we get a little bit of love above 240. H bar is up 12.3%. For some reason, this thing cranked out of this. I don't know. What are we going to call it? Resistance? This previous support turned, look at all that support, turned resistance because we broke below it. We found support at this resistance, now turned support, and used that to springboard above the newly found resistance. Previous support turned resistance. And we're currently trading at 1481. Let's see if we can get above 15 again. Tishu said, I love the contrarian view, but going against the belief of both Jordan and Ben, I don't know, but I think we could get effed, lol. They've had some pretty good calls, good accuracy. They have my respect. Jordan said we were doing some super cycle thing. He also was like obsessed with Chainlink. Ben Cowan, I'll give Ben Cowan credit. I troll him just kind of for fun, because I know that if he ever saw it, he would freak out and lose even more hair. And as a bald man, you know, I think it's my job to gaslight people into further receding their hairline. It's like a rite of passage. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Everyone's got their own thing. There was some weird some guy came into Jordan's Discord and was like talking crap, which I thought was really odd. Like, clearly he got a little butthurt. This is what he said. He goes, I came back after a year to let you all know that Jordan rugged you again with one of his shit predictions. The absolute worst crypto analyst in the history of crypto. 80 carat early 2024, and then top then 10 trillion market cap. LMAO. Dude is a loser. You should have known he was shilling for 100k subs on YouTube when he stopped showing his face and started making clickbait 10 trillion videos. I don't know what clickbait he's talking about. He uses the same thumbnail. He definitely wasn't shilling for no 100k subs that like came naturally. And it definitely sounds like this guy straight up just like blindly did everything that Jordan said and then blamed Jordan, which is what you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to make your own decisions. None of it is ever anyone else's fault but your own. So I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was really funny. Don't blame other people for your decisions, guys. It's just cringe. You know, at the end of the day, it's very, very cringy. SWE is up 1.82% on the day, currently trading at 136, 137. Can it get back above 140? SWE seems to be desperately struggling. But going back to the falling wedge triangle situation that we discussed earlier, if this is the case, we are getting the fake out before the actual breakout. We will see a lot of green dots. The wave, the momentum wave for Market Safer is incredibly oversold in a longer period of time. So it does look good for a potential huge rebound. Hondo's up 2.92% on the day, currently trading at 47.62. Can it get back above 5? Is going to be a big deal. I don't know if it's going to. It looks a little weak, but I'm hoping for a bounce here from everything. Arrow struggling a little bit. Can't even get back above 76. What else do we got? Pinlink's down 5%. Stellar's up 7.26. Struggling to get back above 25 cents. But the chart actually looks relatively decent. Tishu said, yeah, but he had an invalidation point. Some people sold Bitcoin at 70 to 80. Jordan sold in the 90K. Not bad considering he bought close to the lows. Fahid said, what is this? 5 likes? Come on, like the stream and sub if you're new. Yeah, make sure you guys smash the like button. I appreciate you guys. I'm pretty sure I'm literally losing my voice from doing 2-hour streams every single day. It also could be like the weather and the dry heat. Waterfly said, well, I was first till show was deleted. Which one? I had like 6 bum shows because I was trying to do the multi-stream again. I cannot get it to work, man. I'm going to have to like pay for multi-stream or something, which drives me crazy. I don't want to have to pay for any of that crap, but it is what it is. Polkadot down 2.21%. Polkadot looks really bad here. It's like sad, dude. What if I said Jordan is gay? Barcoin is up 6.2 or 6.72, sitting above 21. Not much to say about this, to be honest. Cass is up 5%. Not much to say about this either. I'm going to see this get back above 5 cents, and then we can start talking about it again. Avalanche is up 0.53, kind of really, really lingering at this $13 level. Hopefully it holds and can continue up. I did buy some the other day. I think it's kind of a steal at anything below like 20 bucks is a huge steal to me. Because if this thing goes back up to 20, that's almost 100% right there. Right here. If it goes up to 20 from here. Okay, 50% is what I meant to say. Really? Am I confused? 13 to 20. Yeah, no, I guess it is 50%. Well, that's boring. The JJ math, man. I saw a video of this guy who was being interviewed by the news. He's like talking about the parking meter. He's like, well, the parking meter says that it's hour for $1, but 25 cents gets you 15 minutes. And if my math is correct, that's not an hour. And the lady goes, it's not. But it is. And he goes, it is? And then he goes, like, looks at the camera and he's like, it is. And then he like realized that his math was all jacked up, which is pretty funny. I was like, that's JJ math. Chainlink is up 2.88% on the day, currently trading at 12.52. It looks like it's rejecting 12.68, which is interesting. So if we can stay within this range, there's a chance that it'll establish enough, I don't know, pressure, I'll call it, to blast above 13.39. Hopefully get above 14.15. That would be even more impressive. But let's see if our momentum wave, or not the momentum wave, I'm sorry. Let's see if our moving average on the RSI is held as we come back down there. Doge is up 3.71. We got less than 1 minute remaining for the daily close contest, so make sure you guys get your guesses ready. Near struggling, Pengu, everything's struggling right now. DXY looks great. Silver actually looks relatively decent. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow, along with gold. Gold looks really good right here. Strategy looks like crap. NASDAQ, S&P both look great. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Ladies and gentlemen, get your guesses ready for the daily close contest. Bitcoin currently trading at 86,383 and 55 cents. Let's transition. Cool. Gourmet Brands Brooklyn said, if you have 2 PCs, get 2 cameras and do 1 camera for YouTube and then do the other for X. That's actually not a bad idea. I would have to build a whole nother PC though. I think it's cheaper for me to just pay for this stupid crap. Ladies and gentlemen, get your guesses in for the daily close contest. Waterfly said, I like strategy. I'm adding this week. Honestly, that's what I've been trying to iterate. The charts look like crap, and we have to get out of this mindset, myself included, that, oh, chart crap, no buy, because it's literally the opposite. You're supposed to look at it and say, man, that looks really, really bad, and then you're supposed to press the buy button. That is what you're supposed to do. So we've got a entry from Gourmet Brands Brooklyn coming in with, what's happening here? 85, 555, 55. I have a really, really, really big interview scheduled for Sunday. I'm very excited. It is the CEO of Iagon. I believe he has his doctorate, and it is decentralized storage. And I believe that they're also getting ready to tack on cloud computing as well, which is pretty sick. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be my biggest interview yet. My end game goal right now is to get the SNEC team on, because I don't think that they've really done any interviews, if I'm being completely honest. But maybe I've dismissed them. What if I said never heard of it? It's the biggest project that I've interviewed so far. It's a decentralized cloud storage on Cardano. They were originally on ETH and they migrated, actually. Index. Index coming in with a 0.00. Got you, Index. Anybody else? Anybody at all? Daily close contest, chance for you to win up to $300 every single day. It's a ton of fun, completely free to enter. All you gotta do is submit your guess in the live chat. Make sure you like the stream and be a subscriber, and you will also have a chance to win $300. We've got 2 minutes and 47 seconds remaining on the clock. Bitcoin currently trading at 86,899.56. While I'm waiting for you guys to submit, again, I'm gonna go and refresh the liquidation heat map and pull up another guy. 86,880 and 8 cents. Waterfly said they were on ETH and moved to ADA. Yes, sir. Okay, we got that liquidation. So the next one is, oh, it's real close. 86,683. Okay. Fahid coming in with a guess. 86,700. Butterfly said, I'm shorting it. I don't know if you can. Actually, you should be able to if you go to Strike. Go to Strike Finance. Let's see. Is Iagon on here? It is. Dude, you actually could. You could short it via the decentralized perpetual trading protocol on Cardano called Strike Finance, of which I also interviewed the creator of that as well. I clicked on the wrong thing. Right here, bam, view full playlist right there, the Strike Finance interview. Let's go. I can't believe that interview was only 30 minutes. Kind of blows my own mind. All right, we got John Tujo coming in with 86,800.69. Ladies and gentlemen, I got 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining on the clock for the daily close contest. Index said, I'd like to change it to 86,816. I got you, Index. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody at all? You guys got 55 seconds remaining on the clock for the daily close contest. I got my my bougie ass coffee that my fiance got me into. It's so good. It is a Brazilian dark roast pour over, and it has a ridiculously large amount of caffeine, and I love it. It's also very delicious. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Bitcoin 86,820 even. What's it gonna be? Are we going to hit that next liquidation point as well? What are you guys thinking? Also, are you guys buying at these levels, or do you think we're going lower? Waterfly coming in with a guess of 1. Very strategic. I like it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating in the daily close contest. Let's get these bad boys up on the board. What is that? I have an additional window open. Okay. Sort. And bam. Let's go. We've got Index coming in with 86,816. We've got John Tujo coming in with 86,869 cents. We've got 86,700 from Fahid. We've got Gourmet Branch of Brooklyn with 85,555 and 55 cents. And last but not least, we've got Waterfly Oh, I'm sorry. This is $1, not 0. I can't type. Oh! Represents 1. Very cool. Okay, so I'm going to put this guy at the bottom. Underneath Gourmet Brands Brooklyn, actually. Bitcoin, 86,793 and 92 cents. I'm going to zoom in. Unless we break below Fahid, this is where I'm going to be. Currently, Fahid is in the lead, actually. John said strategery. Fahid said LOL. John Bush SNL. John said George, but yes sir. Gourmet Brands Brooklyn said I'm buying very light at these levels. I went heavy on the way down. What if I said €1? I'm not transferring that. Your guesses are automatically assumed in USD. Ladies and gentlemen, you got 2 minutes and 52 seconds remaining on the clock. Let's start a poll for the channel. Start a poll. Are you starting to buy at these levels? Yes, be greedy and all that stuff. Or, no, we're going lower. It's over. Start poll. Bitcoin 86,800 even. Fahid, oh, now index in the lead with his guess of 86,816. Bitcoin spiked up to 86,831 and 12 cents. Let's see. Are you guys buying at these levels or no? Do you think it's over? Lunar Entity said, wouldn't be surprised if CME sold off to 85 to close the 4-hour gap. Exactly. Bitcoin 86,818 and 10 cents. Index very, very close right there with 86,816. He's $2.10 below the current price, which would put him closest without going over for a bragging rights victory. We do have 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining on the clock, and the price seems to be turning green, but we all know how quick one red candle can change that. It does look very pumpy though, which is quite exciting. 86,846 and 99 cents, 842.39. Interesting. We've got 80 seconds remaining on the clock for the daily close contest. I'm excited for the prize today. Pickle Rick said, always greedy. Just my new Bitcoin transfer to my wallet. Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, 85 seconds remaining. I'm sorry, 65. Just making up numbers at this point. 60 seconds remaining on the clock for the daily close contest. Bitcoin 86,823. 86,823 and 12 cents. Index currently in the lead with his guess of 86,816. Crypto Spaces said, I can understand why people call crypto a scam and new people barely came in this cycle. We didn't get any retail, dude. I'm convinced they all pieced out. 37 seconds remaining on the clock. 86,820 and 98 cents. Here comes the red candle. Is it going to close that way? Or are we going to get a surprise pump? That wick on the candle prior does seem very indicative of some selling pressure, but we are on the 1 minute time frame, so anything can happen. 86,829.99. 16 seconds remaining on the clock. Index still in the lead. Lunar Entity said best weekly volume since February. Interesting. 10 seconds remaining. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Spam the bananas in the chat for our winner, Mr. Index, winning bragging rights with a Bitcoin daily close price of 86,830 even. 86,830 even. 86,830 even. 86,830. Congratulations, Index, on your victory, ladies and gentlemen. Spam the bananas in the chat. And as soon as the close concludes, the price starts dumping. Index with a guess of 86,816. Very cool. Congratulations, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, spam the bananas in the chat. The chat requires banan spam. That is not what I meant to grab. Let's grab this one and delete it. And then that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, Index, on your victory. Very cool. I gotta change my mind, right? Very, very cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. How many times can I say ladies and gentlemen? Yay! Very cool. Congratulations, Index, on your victory. Let me add you to the winner's Google Doc. Thank God somebody won today. I think on Friday, I like rushed home and nobody won. Everyone was too bullish. All right, cool, cool, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get a drum roll, please? The winner of today's daily close contest with a guess of 86,816 even and an actual Bitcoin daily close price of 86,830 even on November 23rd, 2025. Mr. Index's prize is a fancy fruit crepe. Fruit and cream, to be specific. Congratulations, Index, on your victory. We do not have any syrup or powdered sugar, so if you would like some, you're going to have to provide your own legally. We are not allowed to. However, if Feel free to cut this bad boy up, divvy it up amongst your friends, your family, your fellow competitors, your co-workers, your boss, I don't know, your other relatives, what have you. Whatever you do, you are legally obligated to remove it from the premises. Congratulations once again on your victory. Enjoy. What I would do personally, how I would tackle this, I would do the syrup and the powdered sugar. I would eat the fruit off the top, leave the cream, cut it up into pieces, and shovel it into my face. Straight into my face hole. Congratulations, though. Definitely recommend. Bitcoin 86,683 even, looking good. We are hitting liquidation points left and right. Getting a little bit dumpy here, which is weird because I'm normally bad at shorting and I'm up 12% right now, which is pretty crazy. Let's go take a look at gold. Gold. Okay, so what I see here is a very strict consolidation. And I don't know if I would go as far as to include that. I suppose you could. I don't know, there's so many different ways to look at it. I'm going to leave this line here. I'm going to just make it dotted, because that's the previous support turned resistance. Getting above that's going to be important. But then we have our 2 points of confluence from our 2 peaks. So getting above that's also going to be important. And then this other line back here is just the previous trend line that we were riding. Bounce, 3, 4, 5. And then we broke below 6 points of confluence, the last one being resistance. So Fahid said, Waterfly said Fahid has syrup. That is true. Fahid said, okay, let's take the CME gap and then moon. Yes, I can supply all the maple syrup. Giovanni said, what up? What's going on, Giovanni? Pickerick said, what's the liquidation heat map look like? Crypto Spaces said, can you look at Bob, please? It's on Coinbase. And Lunar Entity said, I love gold, more top callers than Bitcoin this year. I read that as gold member, by the way, because I almost said that. I don't think my voice could do it, but I want to. I want to really bad. Liquidation heat map. Pickerick looks like, bam. We've liquidated a lot of bears, and now we're going to liquidate a lot of bulls because everybody gets a little too excited. They open up big fat positions, and the market maker just eats away at them. The next big one, 63 mil, which I guess I'm going to go right here, 86,427, even though I think we're going to hit it really fast. 86,427. Congratulations, Index, once again on your victory. Enjoy your delicious fruit and cream crepe. Again, highly recommend. What did I say? 86,427? All right. Very cool. And then Bob on Coinbase. Can you give me the actual ticker? Okay, here. Never mind, I got it. Bob. Okay. 4 hour. So far, it looks like a initial listing pump, a subsequent listing dump, and a return to the mean, which is the story of my life. Volume looks decent on those last 2 candles before the one that just opened. Other than that, though, nothing really too much to go off of. 15-minute looks clean. This is a uptrend that typically breaks down, but if it does invalidate and break up, it's usually pretty violent break to the upside. Just keep in mind, it's similar to this. See this? Chop and then break. That's going to do the same thing. And it might only be on a small scale. Could still form a higher low. Because that kind of looks like it's forming a parabola. So don't take that at face value. The volume looks great though. Look at the volume. Just right here. Looks amazing. What day is that? Sunday? Today? Yeah, the volume on this today looks awesome. I forgot I was on the 15-minute. It does look good though. software looks pretty good. Bitcoin looking a little red at the moment. Currently down 0.4% on the day, 86,467. Crypto Spaces said nice thanks. Absolutely. Picklebrick said, yeah, we're not going to do anything but chop and drop, pump then dump until they stop with leverage. Exactly. Yeah, dude, it blows my mind. Everyone's like, oh, the leverage gets flushed. The leverage is gone. Every long is, been liquidated. And then you look and like within an hour, they've repopulated every single position. It's crazy. It's actually insane. News segment. Nothing, believe it or not, nothing from Watch Your Guru today. They're very lazy on the weekends. No time off. We are not allowed to have any time off. It is not permitted, especially paid. Marty Party posted, best interest rate sensitive sectors are in recession, but he's confident about 2026 growth prospects. Everyone that was going to sell has sold. Run it up, Binance. Remember, they use two ways to get you out of your assets. Run it up high, you greed sell. Run it down low, you panic sell. Shakeouts in both directions. Like I said years ago, we will hold till the end of quantitative easing. Whenever that is, they will fight like dogs. Technical narrative will be used to trap into the cryptoverse, aka Ben Cowan, and the bears. I thought that was a very interesting take, because I don't necessarily have the take that Cowan is going to be trapped. There's a hair, and I can... Oh, I got it. Oh, thank God. That was bugging me. Now my eyes hurt really bad. I think it's interesting that somebody else has a similar point of view to me. Not that I want him to get trapped. I think he's going to be wrong eventually. And that eventually seems relatively similar, or relatively soon, given the current state of affairs. But I could be wrong. I acknowledge that. Marty Party posted a bunch of these. These were very interesting. Whale clips. 20.4 million just entered the market. Whales are coming back to play. Whales entering. We got, what is that? 13.4 million. 2 million. And then we've got a bunch more right here. I don't know what he's highlighting. 10.4 million, 2.7 million, 10.4, and 7.3. So, number go up. Whales, smart money, at least it seems, is entering the space again. Kobe, see you later. The U.S. wealth gap is widening. Americans aged 70 plus now own a record 38.9% of all U.S. equities held by households. The percentage has surged 10% since 2020 and has doubled since 2008. As a result, these individuals currently own 19.9 trillion of equities and mutual funds. At the same time, they own a record 32% of U.S. household wealth, or 53.1 trillion. By comparison, this percentage was 20% between 2006 and 2010. The wealth gap across generations is widening at a record pace. Interesting. Make sure you guys smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. Wealth gap and all that fun stuff does affect our bottom line, believe it or not. The stream numbers have been not so great. So if you guys smash the like button, it really helps out. Congratulations once again, Index, on your victory. Enjoy your delicious fruit and cream crepe, which I can make, actually. I'm an expert master creper, if you will. The U.S. investment grade corporate bond issuance are surging. Investment grade bond sales have reached 1.49 trillion year to date, the second highest total in history. This is only below the 1.75 trillion record set in 2020 after the Fed rapidly reduced interest rates. U.S. issuance accelerated in October, helped by Meta's $30 billion deal, the largest investment grade offering in over 2 years. Next year, 1.1 trillion of high-grade bonds are estimated to come due, which suggests elevated issuance among investment-grade companies will continue. Meanwhile, global bond issuance has surpassed $6 trillion for the first time, highlighting a worldwide demand to refinance debt and secure more funding. Global rate cuts are fueling a massive refinancing wave. Interesting. If this does play out the way that everyone's expecting it to, and we know how this debt cycle now works, it's going to be really easy to determine when to buy and sell for the next time around, because I'm sure this is going to happen every, let's call it 10 years, 9, 8, 7, the time frame is going to get shorter and shorter because you know that they're going to keep increasing their spending because they're greedy and they can't help themselves. This is our important thing, little calendar situation that we're going to update on every single day. Key events this week: September PPI inflation data Tuesday, September retail sales data Tuesday, November CV consumer confidence data Tuesday, October pending home sales data Tuesday, Wednesday US Q3 2025 GDP data, September durable good orders data, September PCE inflation data, and September new home sales data. Thursday, U.S. markets close for Thanksgiving, and Friday, U.S. market closes at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a short but busy week ahead. I'm excited because Thanksgiving means food, and I love food. Tishu said, did not go up. What do we got? dex.marketcap.com/tokens. Number go up. Oh, no. What have you done? What is that from? Oh, geez. Oh, it's from Star Wars. Where Anakin's like, what have I done? Dang. 2 months ago, though. Let's run it back. See, they just PvP each other like idiots. These are one guy, buy, sell, sell. Another guy, buy, sell, sell. They just PvP each other, and they make no money. They actually lose money in fees. It blows my mind. Had potential, man. What a waste of a perfectly good ticker. Anyways, U.S. manufacturing employment continues to decline. The U.S. economy lost 6,000 manufacturing jobs in September, marking the 5th consecutive monthly contraction. During this period, manufacturing jobs have dropped 58,000 to 12.71 million, the lowest since March 2022. Since the start of 2024, manufacturing jobs have seen 12 monthly declines. Overall, manufacturing jobs have fallen 194,000 since February 2023 peak. Meanwhile, transportation and warehousing employment plunged 25,000 in September to 6.71 million, the lowest since November 2024. Industrial sectors are under pressure. I wonder if they're going to have whole countries or cities where AI is just completely banned. I'm genuinely curious. Fahid said so many tokens too. Yeah, for real. Lunar Entity said, yeah, when bond spreads spike and top, usually the best time to buy. Strong bottom confluence. I like that. Let us know when that happens. For real. Next, we've got professional investors can only ignore gold for so long. Only 5% of global funds managers believe gold prices will exceed 5K by the end of 2026. 34% expect gold to trade in the 4,000 to 4,500 range, while 27% think prices will reach 4,500 to 5,000 per ounce. On the other hand, 34% see gold prices falling below 4K with 26% anticipating a range of 3,500 to 4K. Meanwhile, 39% of professional investors in the survey do not own any gold in their portfolios. Gold is also no longer the most crowded trade after topping that list for the first time in October. Wall Street is still unconvinced about gold. Interesting. I mean, to be fair, gold is just an asset that may or may not increase or decrease in value, whereas stocks are like revenue earning businesses. So that revenue earning part, I think, is a lot more attractive than something as, forgive me, simple as gold. You know what I mean? It has a high value proposition. Again, though, it's only valuable because people say it's valuable. Sure, there can be a fixed supply, but who cares? You know what I mean? There's technically not a fixed supply of anything. It's just, I don't know. It's goofy to me. I'm not going to get into the semantics of it. Somebody's going to be like, what do you mean you're not a fixed supply of anything? CryptoSpaces said that was the reason meme coins blew up. Lunar, because VCs give themselves massive token amounts with unlocks. Exactly. Lunar said people like to blame the amount of tokens, but most of your VC liquidity providers exited after a 10-year horizon in 2021. Waterfly said, tell us about shirt today. Oh, this is just the Help Better Club shirt for Stranger Things. I told you guys, these are all my pajama shirts. Pretty excited for the new season. CryptoSpaces said, and they just did that over and over again. Institutional investors are deploying cash. The cash allocation of global managers fell another 0.1 percentage points in November to 3.7%, the lowest in 15 years. Cash levels have remained at or below 4% of AUM, assets under management, for the fifth consecutive month. Cash levels of 3.7% or lower have occurred only 20 times since 2002. Meanwhile, institutional investors are net 34% overweight global stocks, the highest since February 2025 and the most overweight commodities since September 2022. Institutional investors are extremely bullish on stocks. Interesting. What if I said my grandkids won't shut up about Stranger Things? The final season's about to come out. I'm actually pretty stoked, regardless of how goofy it might look in the trailer. The kids are all like in their 50s now, though. Lunar Entity said memes. VCs were ready for blockchain in 2010. They were ahead of all of us. All right. Next, we've got the UK now holding just under 5.2 billion in Bitcoin. Very cool. BlackRock says clients care about Bitcoin as digital gold, not a global payments rail. Also very cool. Peter Schiff says we can't panic. We'll make the next Bitcoin dump even uglier. Lynn Alden says capitulation is unlikely until we see true euphoria. I actually really like that. I don't know who the hell she is, but I like her consensus here. Banks, U.S. banks are sitting on 395 billion in unrealized losses on investment securities for Q2 per the FDIC. That's crazy. What a crazy chart. At least it looks like it's, heading back towards zero, which is good, versus negative. Huge Bitmine wants to own 5% of the Ethereum supply. What is 5% of infinity? You check CoinMarketCap, it does show the max supply of Ethereum as infinity, which is crazy to me. So, I don't know. It's kind of funny. Insight Bitcoin ATM operator eyes a $100 million sale as its CEO faces federal money laundering charges. Those ATMs were always curious to me because the spread is so ridiculous, but they're I see them everywhere. And I'm like, there's no way that they actually make that much money, but they do. So this is one person who I'm okay with, them probably getting in a little bit of legal trouble. They probably didn't do all of their due diligence either, so you get what you get. I definitely almost said dildo at one point in that sentence. Big Solana ETFs have seen 19 consecutive days of inflows. That's actually pretty crazy. Fahid said, what if Stranger Things 1 and 2 is good enough for me and it's perfectly making more was unnecessary? I actually don't mind the direction that they took it. My issue at this point now is this final season. I feel like they got a little bit too grand with it. The seasons that are all out at this exact moment, I love. I think that they're wonderful. I agree. Season 1 and 2 are good. They have like that, I don't know, the older school vibe. Why is JJ thinking dildo? I can't talk, man. My voice, my throat's super dry. I don't know. I did indulge in some edibles yesterday and the day before, so I feel like I'm getting a little perma-fry from that. I gotta take another edible break so that I don't melt my brain. Lunar Entity said, the ATMs smelled like an 80s prop scam. Can't believe anyone took them seriously. I think that you actually get the Bitcoin, but the spread is crazy. You're basically down 20K if you buy a Bitcoin on the ATM. That's how bad the spread is. That's insane. All right, we're going to end the poll in the chat, guys. I asked you guys if you were buying at these levels. 54% of you guys, that's actually pretty evenly split. 54 said yes, be greedy and all that stuff. And 46% said no, we're going lower, it's over. Jess said dump stream. Yeah, it's a dump for ants so far. There's also a pump for ants so far too, though. Congratulations, Index, once again on your victory. Enjoy your delicious fruit and cream crepe. Grayscale says Link is the backbone of the tokenization boom. I couldn't agree more. $6 billion in shorts will be wiped out if Bitcoin adds 10K. That was 4 hours ago. Who knows what it needs to add now? Secretary Bessent says the U.S. economy took an $11 billion hit from the shutdown, but still isn't at risk of recession. I'm not sure how we lose money during shutdown. Shouldn't we save money? It don't really make sense to me. Bitcoin is extremely oversold. We've got Crypto Goose. 2018 bear market bottom, oversold. The pandemic, I guess technically that wasn't oversold, but it looks like it's right around like 15, 10 or 15, probably 15. 2022 bear market bottom. We did go lower, but the RSI did not hit that low. That actually created bullish divergence though. That did result in oversold RSI. And then currently we're kind of at the pandemic level dump right now. We're not necessarily oversold on the weekly yet. We've got Don posting, I wouldn't be surprised to see altcoins pumping going into December. We'll see, Don. We will see. Not a lot of confluence here. You got like 3 hits to the upside, if you're lucky, and like 2 to the down. So it is what it is, though. Little hopium. And then last but not least, we've got George. I am George. We're all George. Posting a crypto rover chart. We've gone full circle now because I'm talking about George talking about crypto rover. Altcoins showing early signs of a bottom. Since the October 10th liquidation, altcoins are holding up better than Bitcoin. So far, we haven't seen a strong altcoin rally, which raises the question, could this be the altcoin bottom? With a December rate cut back on the table, any fresh catalyst could trigger a major bounce for altcoins. Chart courtesy of Crypto Rover. We've got Bitcoin, and then we've got Bitcoin versus others, which I believe is altcoins excluding the top 10. And others seem to be outperforming Bitcoin since the liquidation event. They've almost completely recovered that liquidation event, while Bitcoin has gone further down, significantly further down, which is very interesting. Bitcoin 86,295. I'm going to close my trade. I am up 12.49%. Thank you, Dumpy Bitcoin. Let's see. Lunar Entity said if Bitcoin just went straight down, that'd be pretty funny. That would be quite comical. But he said CME gap would be nice to fill quickly if we want it to be bullish. Waterfly said thank you, someone who gifted me membership. I like how you said that like a pirate. Thank you to someone who gifted me membership. That was actually Philly. So thank you, Philly, for Waterfly's gifted membership. Cheers. Happy Sunday, guys. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. Let's do a portfolio update. Okay. The 1K to 10K Grok portfolio. I might have to, hang on, let me log out and log back in because I know that's going to give me trouble. It's one thing that I forgot to do. Okay. 1K to 10K Grok portfolio. Oh my gosh, I'm blind. It's currently down 489, 48.9%. Why was it doing better yesterday? What the heck? We have 0 assets in green currently, starting from the bottom. Fetch is down 65. Aptos is down 62. Proppy's down 58. Render's down 54. Ondo is down 53. Shib is down 50. ADA is down 48. Doge is down 41. Near is down 40. And Sol is down 23. Then we've got our meme coin portfolio. Currently down 582. 58.2%. What if I'm not reading that out loud, Waterfly. Currently none of these assets are in the green either. Starting from the bottom, GigaChat is down a whopping 160. Snack is also down a whopping 133. Pepe's down a whopping 113. Whiff is down 100, which is 50%, and Doge is down 76, 77, which is, what is that? I don't know. You guys can figure out the math. Probably 30-something%. Okay, then we've got the narrative portfolio, my favorite and the most stable, believe it or not. Currently down 186, which is 37%, 36, 37%. We've got 0. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We do have one asset in the green. Tau is back in the green, up 2.1. Starting from the bottom, Fetch is down 54. VeChain is down 53. Mana is down 41. Pepe is down 41. And Tau is up 2.23. Very cool. And then last but not least, we've got the perfect entry portfolio, which is down 427, 42.7%. Currently, none of the assets are in the green here either. So the narrative portfolio is the only portfolio with a green asset as well, which is interesting. Starting from the bottom, Avalanche is down 62. Is that right? Yeah. Render is down 59. Sui is down 56. Pith is down 54. Ondo's down 47. The Graph is down 46. Crow is down 32. ETH is down 29. Sol is down 28. And Link is down 18. Interesting. Dang, Philly said, hey kids, what's going on, Philly? Oh, that's funny. The context is missing as well. That's really funny. All right. Let's go refresh the liquidation heat map again because I'm curious. Bitcoin, 86,387 and 91 cents. Next liquidation point, we did get a little baby bounce. We wicked down and liquidated some, but not all. Gosh, could you imagine the price like touching your liquidation level, but somehow you make the cut because it bounced back so quick? I would crap my pants. What did it? No, Waterfly, did you retract that? That is too funny, man. What are the odds? That's beautiful. I could not have planned that myself, honestly. That's the comedic timing there is perfect. Yeah, some of these guys made it. That's crazy. All right. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I made that up. We are at 85,917. Okay, let me put that on there. 85,917. Okay, congratulations, Index, once again on your victory. Enjoy your fruit and cream crepe. We've got a whole lot of nothing going on in the market at the moment. I think that's it, guys. Let's go take a look at fear and greed. I'm curious. We got 19. That was a quick recovery. Jeez. Look at that. Is this the longest we've been this low? Below 20, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of them below 20. This one we got 1, 2, I guess 3 if you count 20, 4, max. Okay, so it looks like 2020, which I believe, actually, let's go look. Let's go look at March, April 2020. Was that the, after the first peak? That might have been the pullback after the first, out of the double top. Yep. No, actually I made that up. Let's go look at, geez. Yeah, right here. $2020? Really? March, April. Right there. It's this guy. It's March, April. So if we are right there, that is like the bottom. Now, it took a little while to grind up from there, but it's very, very curious. I wonder if that's what's happening right now. Wouldn't that be sick? Man, could you imagine? Let's, am I gonna fractal this? Is that what we're doing right now? Is this really happening? Let's do it. I'm gonna go, bam, all the way to there. Sure. Okay. Grab and drag. Yeah, are you kidding me? Is that what I put right there? That is what I put right there. I'm a genius already. How much more genius can you get? Let's get rid of this bad boy. And let's put this guy right there. Bam. It's a lot more money in play right now as well. So the candlesticks almost don't even look like the sell-off is that crazy. So yeah, imagine if Bitcoin stayed underneath 95K until July of 2026. Could you imagine how bearish everyone would get? Oh my gosh. Just imagine it, just for a moment. Just really sit on it, ponder, think about it. People would freak out. Now, riddle me this, Batman. What if... That was so stupid. Look at this stuff. You got a peak, a peak, a peak, a valley, a peak, a peak, a valley, and then it kept going. What if that's what you're doing right now? Because if I take this, what if this is this, or vice versa? Hold on, not that. That's not what I meant. Actually, no, it could be that. That's actually perfect. We've got peak, 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 valley, and then we're going to get this little arch, and then this explosion up. I'm just saying. I kind of like it. I'm not going to copy and stretch the whole fractal because I'm sure you could just make that, you know, out of 1,000 different things that have happened in the market. But it works the same way every single time, man. Every single time. Let me take this. I'm going to copy paste this. I don't want to stretch it. I'm going to stretch it out so that the whole dang thing. Actually, you know what? I'm going to delete it. I'm going to get even more of a fractal. We're just throwing around ideas. If you guys got ideas, feel free. Because right now, the market's kind of not really doing much, so we're just trying to have fun. Trying to have fun and get by. Are you ready? I'm about to blow your mind. I'm about to blow your mind. I'm not sure how, but I bet you I'm about to blow your mind. I just forget about it. Forget I said anything. No. See, none of that looks really good, honestly. Like, that looks okay right there. No. I'm not really buying any of it. 50-50 bear market or bull run. That's kind of how I feel. Let's go ask Grok, actually. How long do you think this Bitcoin cryptocurrency bear market / bear trend will last? When do you think a proper reversal will occur? All right, let's see what Grok says. And in the meantime, let's go check out CoinMarketCap's Fear and Greed. We are at 12. Interesting. Dang, is that the lowest this has ever been? Whoa, it is. Okay, they didn't start tracking this until 2023, but holy cow. Wow. 12 is the lowest this has ever been. Holy crap. Crypto space is said to have money in the market now is a risk. I mean, it's always a risk. You got to weigh the risk reward, though, in my opinion. Is it worth missing out on a potential reversal bull run scenario? In my opinion, no. My favorite, like, F you money stupid saying right now that I made up is upside risk is infinite. Or I guess that's the second part. Downside risk stops at 0. Upside risk is infinite. And the reason I use the word risk is because if you're not invested, then you are risking missing out on the upside. And maybe that's a dangerous way to think, but be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. Buy when there's blood in the streets. And right now, there seems to be an awful lot of blood. Whether or not it's coming from bags or the individuals just participating in the markets, if you know what I mean. Blood is blood. And if it's in the streets, I'm buying. And if it's not in the streets, I'm buying because I just like the dollar cost average over time. Okay, let's see. Current state of the Bitcoin bear market as of November 23rd. Bitcoin has indeed entered a bear market territory, defined as a drop of over 20% from its recent peak. So they're using stock market definition of a bear market. It hit an all-time high of approximately 126K on October 6th, but it has since plunged about 30% to around 90 to 92. That is incorrect. It's below that now. It's at 86.7 right now. This marks the 7th bear phase in the past 5 years, driven by macroeconomic headwinds like persistent inflation, doubts over Federal Reserve rate cuts, now priced at just 40% for December, massive ETF outflows, 1.8 to 4.1 billion since mid-November, and a broader risk-off sentiment in equities and tech. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index sits at extreme fear, 10 to 24, with weekly RSI hitting levels last seen in the 2019 and 2022 bear markets, signals of oversold conditions that historically precede exhaustion, but not always immediate bottoms. Technical indicators confirm a downtrend, a death cross 50-day moving average, crossing below the 200-day moving average occurred this week, with Bitcoin closing below its key 50-week exponential moving average, the golden line, for the first time since early 2025. Unlike prior fakeouts, where it held above and rallied 25 to 60%, on-chain data shows long-term holders distributing into weakness, ETF redemptions accelerating, and realized losses spiking, pointing to a two-stage downturn, macro-driven sell-off followed by forced liquidations. Broader crypto has fared worse, with Ethereum down 35% from its August high. Historical context for duration. Bitcoin's bear markets are notoriously volatile, but follow patterns tied to halving cycles every 4 years, reducing supply issuance. Past phases have lasted 7 to 13 months on average, with deeper drawdowns 50 to 77% before recovery. Bear market period, November 17 through December 18. Duration was 13 months. Peak through decline, 20K to 3.2K. Time to new all-time high, 2 years. Interesting. ICO burst, or ICO bust, regulatory crackdown. I'm not going to read the triggers for all of them. April 21 to November 22 was 19-month long, minus 77%. And then January through April 2025, earlier dip was a 3-month long, minus 28%. October to November, so far right now, 1.5 months long, and we're down 30%. So if we do something similar to what we did January through April, we got another 1.5 months to go. And we could be looking at 2026 response. Crypto spaces said, I think a lot are sidelined in cash or stables. Probably. Piggyrick said vampire. I don't know. Crypto spaces said waiting to see what happens. Yeah, it's definitely kind of a poop show right now. My prediction, duration and reversal timeline. Let me lubricate my throat. Based on historical cycles, current macro risks, and sentiment extremes, I estimate this bear trend will last 6 to 12 months. I like that they gave me the cable guy hours. They're like, this bear trend will last 1 to 2 years. Like, that's thanks Croc. Shorter than the brutal 2022 winter due to strong institutional foundations. A proper reversal, sustained break above 100 to 106, reclaiming the 50 in Q3 to Q4 2026, aligning with post-bear consolidation patterns and the next liquidity wave from expected Fed easing or global adoption tailwinds. Near term, expect a relief rally to 95K, bear market bounce before testing 70K to 80K support. Extreme fear often traps shorts here and seen in prior cycles. Bull case, 40% probability, shorter 4 to 6 months reversal by mid-2026 at 120K plus if rate cuts resume and ETF inflows flip. 180K to 280K by end of 2026. Bear case, 50% probability, 12 to 18 month long, deeper to 50 to 65K, reversal delayed to 2027 amid recession. Base case, 10% probability, super cycle extension, quick rebound to 150K by early 2026 if Bitcoin becomes a U.S. strategic reserve asset. This isn't financial advice. Crypto is volatile and black swans lurk, but history shows bears end when fear peaks and liquidity returns. We're close on the former. Huddle if you're long-term bullish, but scale in on dips below 85K. The next cycle upside could dwarf this pain. Exactly. Downside risk stops at 0. Upside risk is infinite. It does look like number want to go up. Philly said, Fahid, Crypto Spaces, Pickle Rick didn't get memberships. You are correct, Philly. Man, I'm really struggling to like maintain my voice right now. Okay. Can you explain to me your theory without using unreliable X posts? Why you think we didn't experience any alt season / euphoria this time around if the bull market really is over for now? Philly gifted 5 more memberships. Thank you so much, Philly. We got John Gregory, Giovanni Fontes, Fahid, Reese with WF Capital, and Joe Even AM2. Absolute legend. Thank you very much, Philly. Philly said Crypto Spaces, the gifting hates you. That is pretty funny. It didn't get Pickle Rick either. That is funny. All right. 1. Capital never rotates out of Bitcoin in meaningful size. Okay, here's a clear fundamentals and data-driven explanation. No random X influencers or chart memes for why we never got a real classic alt season or euphoric blow off top in 2024-2025 cycle, even though Bitcoin went from 38K to post 2023 bear low to 126K. Capital never rotated out of Bitcoin. That makes sense. Liquidity stayed extremely concentrated in Bitcoin. Okay. Stablecoin inflows, corporate treasuries, Ethereum, and Layer 1 narrative failure. The single biggest historical driver of alt season has been Ethereum killer or flippening hype. This cycle, Ethereum never fixed the fee/gas problem at scale. L2 fragmentation killed the unified narrative. You have 15 different L2s, none dominant. Restaking and ETH's ultrasound money turned out to be mostly speculative yield farming that collapsed when rates rose. Solana had a brief moment in 2023 to early 2025, but the network outages plus VC token unlocks plus meme coin fatigue crushed momentum by mid-2025. Without a credible next big L1 story, money had nowhere convincing to rotate. So I'm going to equate that to a complete lack of marketing. That is what I'm going to equate that to. Regulatory chill on everything except Bitcoin. SEC under Gensler continue treating almost every altcoin as an unregistered security. Exchanges delisted or geofenced hundreds of tokens. No spot ETH ETF conversion until very late. And even then, with staking disabled and tiny inflows compared to Bitcoin ETFs, fear of enforcement kept institutions almost entirely in Bitcoin. Interesting. Macro backdrop cut the party short. The 2021 euphoric phase happened while the Fed was still printing and real yields were deeply negative in 2025. Global liquidity peaked around March, April. Quantitative tightening paused, China stimulus, etc., and then reversed hard. U.S. real yields went from 1% to 1.5% in 6 months. Okay, so then with all of this junk, I'm going to say, why can't we go up sooner than 6+ months then if the Fed is ending QT on December 1st? Japan is printing and sending out stimulus to their economy, to their, what do I say, population. along with many other countries. And Trump is talking about a 2K tariff stimulus. And the Fed might start QE soon after QT ends. All right, I had to kind of shoehorn a bunch of info in there, but I feel like it was necessary. Billy said, JJ, remember yesterday I bought the 5 and 1 additional one for Crypto Spaces? It missed him yesterday too. That's crazy. Giovanni, no problem. Yeah, thanks for all the gifted memberships, Philly. You're a real one. Why a crick reversal isn't likely despite incoming liquidity tailwinds. They're spot on. These developments are genuinely positive for risk assets like Bitcoin and crypto in the medium term. Blah, 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 blah. Freeing up maturities that won't roll off. Japan's stimulus package approved November 21st. Largest since the pandemic. Targeting inflation hit households with cash payouts. 20,000 yen per child. And tax breaks expected to boost GDP by 24 trillion. Trump's $2,000 tariff dividend checks could inject 300 to 600 billion if approved, funded by 225 billion in 2025 tariff revenue. And while quantitative easing isn't restarting immediately, the Fed's just maintaining its $6.6 trillion balance sheet via rollovers, not expanding it. Powell's recent 25 basis point cut to 3.75 to 4%, and hints at data-dependent easing keep the door open for more liquidity if growth slows. Global liquidity is indeed turning. M2 growth is accelerating with China's PBOC adding reserves and Europe ECB already cutting rates 9 times this year. Historically, crypto surges 6 to 12 months after liquidity momentum flips positive. 2020 to 2021 bull run lagged Fed QE by 9 months. Analysts like Arthur Hayes note Bitcoin now tracks global M2 year-over-year changes more than halvings, with a 70% chance of recorrelation as institutions allocate more. But here's why I still see 6+ months of slog before proper reversal. These positives are real, but they're colliding with structural headwinds. Okay. Tariffs are a double-edged sword. Inflationary drag, Trump stimulus short term. Japan stimulus weakens the yen, but triggers carry trade unwinds crypto's Achilles heel. Fed's quantitative tightening end is neutral, not euphoria inducing, and crypto's over levered anyway. Global stimulus takes time to compound, and black swans lurk. So here's my biggest take. Somebody talked about this, and I've kind of been riffing on it ever since. If everyone's losing their job, we're gonna reach like a teeter-totter tipping point where there's not enough people with money to buy the products that these companies are firing them to make cheaper. Like, let's say Amazon and Walmart are the only 2 employers left, and they fire half of their staff. So half of the global population, let's call it. Let's say that they employ the entire planet and they fire 50%. The other 50% is working and like paying for stuff and whatever and buying stuff from Walmart and Amazon, but nobody else is. So by doing that, they've basically removed half of their customers from being able to buy stuff from them. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Pete said, thanks. Philly said, I'm gifting memberships because I'm currently in mode I don't give a F. I'll make crypto bank in 2 to 3 years. I have accepted. I can appreciate that. Pickle Rick said, I work for the poop plant. I can't lose my job, so I'll dollar cost average all the way again. All right, let's go. I did add a new emoji. I don't know if you guys can see it. It is the peen of dump. I don't remember what chart that was from, but I took a screenshot. Oh, did they get rid of it? What happened? Oh, it's just on my chat over here. It's broken. I can still see it on YouTube. The peen of dump, dude. The peen of dump is so good. Let me throw it on the chart as well, just for the meme, for the peen. Are you guys ready? The peen of dump. Dun, 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 dun. I'm very proud of the peen of dump. All right. Anyways, guys, I suppose I'm gonna call it an evening. Had a pretty chill day today. Pretty chill day. We went hour and 26 minutes on stream. Make sure you guys smash the like button. As always, if Bitcoin starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Happy Sunday and good night. Join the Discord.